Okay, so now we'll move on into full text article screening. This is very similar to title and abstract screening, but there are two notable exceptions. So the first difference between the full text screening is now that you will now be reviewing all of these articles in the full text. So to do that, you'll do a bulk upload PDF first. So to do that, you'll actually want to go out into our review summary page again, and then you'll click this export. And then you'll have to say where you want to, from what stage of the process you'll want to export from. So since we only want the articles that are in the full text review stage, we'll want to click full text review. And then we'll want to pick a format. Again, it's really easy if you're using a reference manager, just pick the reference manager that you're using. And then it will export it for you. And then you'll be able to download that and import it into your citation manager. So really quick, I'll show within your citation manager, Covidence is a really easy, makes it very easy, but all of them are pretty easy. You can then, within Covidence, for example, import these references and then select them all and select Find Full Text. And then you'll quickly be able to find whether or not you have all the full text articles available. So you can see it's a lot quicker than manually finding these, which is another advantage of using a citation manager. So once it goes through that process and you have all the PDFs that you have found, you will then export all of these references. And again, you'll want to make sure that your export file type is either is typically XML actually. So you'll want to make sure you export as XML for most of your citation managers. You can also do RIS. And then we'll go back into Covidence here, into now our full text screening.
Hey Grace, we can still see EndNote, so we can't see your Covidence.
Oh, thank you, Emily.
Yeah.
Can't tell you how many times I do that during. Okay. So now we are back in full text screening. And I'll show it to you one more time, just so you know how I got there. So our review summary page, full text screening, continue. And then we'll go to bulk upload here. And then select our file. Then we'll be able to select the exported file. And then when you press open, it will then automatically link these files to the texts, the references that are within your full text section of Covidence. You'll be able to see your import history here as well. So how many studies Covidence was able to link to that file, and then how many of those files didn't have a full text available. And then you can also drag other PDFs here by selecting your file and then going into your saved PDF folder and then adding those into this select files there. So you'll be able to see whether an article has been added because it will say within this reference, it will say full text. So you'll see that there. If you do want to manually add a full text, so if you weren't able to upload it through bulk upload, or if you needed to request the article through interlibrary loan or something, you can then manually add the full text article here within your citation, and then press browse and find PDF on your files on your computer. If while you're doing this, so it does take some time, so I didn't go through the full bulk upload PDFs, but if you do have any questions about this, under our Covidence guide, we do have step-to-step instructions for linking full text references within your Covidence project. So you can go through this if once you're doing this process, if you want to go back and see step-to-step on how to do that, you can look within this Covidence guide here. Okay, any questions right now about importing PDFs?
Yeah, quick question.
Yeah.
I noticed on the Covidence HSL page that it said something about EndNote and one other citation manager, but I didn't see anything that it said about Zotero. Is it possible to do a bulk upload with that?
It is, and the process is very similar. So I can, if you do want specific help with Zotero, I can kind of go through the process with you too. But it is very similar if you follow the, I think particularly Mendeley, if you follow kind of the Mendeley instructions, it is very similar to that process.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Yeah, great question there. Any other questions right now? Okay, so then the process of full text review, like I mentioned, it is very similar to the screening phase, the title and abstract phase. The one notable exception here is if you exclude an article. So if you do want to exclude an article, you'll see here this drop down, and you'll be able to select the reason for why you want to exclude the article. The unfortunate thing with Covidence is it will only allow you to select one reason. So you'll kind of have to pick the best reason, or the reason that really is the overarching reason for why you want to exclude this article. So that might be something that you have to discuss with your team, but you'll be able to select it there and then click confirm, and then it will move that article into excluded references. If you click include, it will move that article into the extraction phase of Covidence. Besides for that, most of these items are very similar, so you'll be able to again see inclusion, exclusion criteria. You'll be able to show highlights as well if you do want to see that. And then to view the full text of an article, you click right under the title of the article, you'll click full text. And then you'll be able to remove this criteria here. You'll be able to open up this PDF and just read it from your browser there. Now, if you notice that this PDF is actually wrong for whatever reason, you can see you can add another PDF and remove the current one if you do need to do that. So you can do that manually. And you can also see here our tags followed us. So these tags we set up during the title and abstract phase, so it followed us into our full text review phase. You'll also see the move to study screen button again if you think that this article isn't actually relevant to your review and you do want to move it back into the title and abstract screening phase to potentially be removed, you can press that there. Okay. The resolving conflicts, so within your full text review, you can also resolve conflicts. Very similar to our section, our screening review section. The one difference here is that if this article is excluded by two different reviewers, but they put each reason different. So say one person excluded this article because it dealt with adults, while another person included this article because it deals with insulin or something and we don't want insulin, then Covidence will actually see this as a conflict, so we'll move this into resolves conflicts. So in order to actually, so if you do see ones in here, it's just important to remember that they might be in there also because two people disagreed on the conflict, and so in that case, you would have to, Covidence would allow you to, there wasn't really a good example of those because I think we, but Covidence would allow you, similar to if you were screening the article, it would allow you to select the final reason for excluding the article. Okay, so that's pretty much all there is to it in terms of the full text review. Any additional questions at this stage?